Ticket sales for Macufe's final events this coming weekend are said to be peaking.
The main festival will be at the Bloemfontein Rose Garden on Saturday and the Macufe Cup between Bloemfontein Celtic and Kaizer Chiefs on Sunday at the Free State Stadium. The two venues are said to have a crowd capacity of 17,000 and 42,000 respectively.
Our reporter Palesa Moeti is attending some of the events taking place this week for us.
We're at the Rose Garden here in Bloemfontein. Now, this is the venue where the main festival of Macufe is going to be happening on Saturday. That's the main jazz festival. That's like the closing festival of the Mangaung African Cultural Festival. Now, this venue can actually accommodate about 17,000 people. That's the crowd capacity that it can accommodate. And right next door to it is the Free State Stadium. That's where the Macufe Cup between Bloemfontein Celtics and Kaizer Chiefs will be taking place on the Sunday after the main festival. And that stadium capacity is about 42,000. But just to take us through what the logistical arrangements for this big weekend are, is the spokesperson for Mangaung Metro, Ntate Gondile Kedama. But just before we talk to him, you should be able to see behind us that there's already work underway with the stage being set up already, obviously in preparation for this big weekend where this huge influx of people is expected into Mangaung Metro. Throughout this entire 10-day festival last year alone, there was about 120,000 people that came to the City of Roses to come and enjoy themselves, you know, throughout this event. So more or less that amount is expected throughout this 10-day period for this year as well. But just to talk to us about the logistical arrangements, Ntate Kedama, thank you very much for talking to us. Just what are the logistical arrangements for Macufe this year?
Look, this has been happening for the past 20 years. So we've learned our lessons, we know exactly what to do. One of the things that we know that is becoming a prominent feature and that we cannot compromise is the safety of the revelers. What we have done, our security cluster has made sure that they up the game in terms of security. The SABC, the Mangaung Law Enforcement, and the other security agencies that are here to assist us, making sure that this magnificent event takes place in a manner that is expected by the leadership of the city. We have made sure that the precinct for the weekend is closed because you know that around the stadium only, it will be accommodating more than 40,000 people for the game on Sunday. The garden, the Rose Garden itself, about 17 to 20,000 people will be here. So we would want our people to feel safe, and I would also urge them to cooperate with traffic officers, with SABC, so that at least we are able to separate those who are attempting to do wrong and those who are actually here for entertainment. One of the things that we want to send out strongly is making sure that you go to the CompuTicket. Don't buy these tickets that you get from the streets, because those could be fake tickets, and the system has been improved in terms of scanning the fake tickets this year. So that is one thing. The issue of bulk services, which is an issue in the city, water and electricity, our electricity entity has made sure that we have a backup in terms of electricity, that should anything happen, but we're comfortable with the test that they've conducted to date. One of the things that we're looking into is make sure that we avail as much water as possible, because the temperature will be a bit high. You can see that from Thursday up to Sunday we're looking between 26 and 30. So we're mindful of the fact that there'll be a lot of people, there'll be a need of water. So those are some of the things that we're looking into in making sure that all these people who are here are actually getting the type of service that they are here for.
So you're certain that everything is on track for this weekend?
Look, we are ready. The executive mayor of the city has been part of the process, just especially on the issue of bulk services and security. So even herself, she's comfortable. The MEC has also got the report. So we are happy with everything for now.
And in terms of, obviously, you've mentioned the security aspect, but people from outside are always extra concerned about security. What are the special arrangements in that regard to make sure that just everybody gets to enjoy and nobody gets to be a victim of crime in some way or another? Are there maybe more police officers deployed, you know, from outside perhaps? What are the arrangements there?
Look, the MEC in Tadimashinin has made sure that it deploys as much police force as possible from other areas, because our view is that even in terms of assessment, there's a lot of activities that are happening outside the main Macufe itself, where they are talking Sichaba, Mahungra, the 2nd Avenue. So all those activities needs a serious visibility of police, especially from the cars, and making sure that physically people feel comfortable. So the MEC has assured us that there is a sizable number of police, the SAPS, that will be making sure that all these sub-events that are happening under the umbrella of Macufe have enough security, have enough law enforcement, and we make this a success. Because if you look at the last year's activities, you could see that very few crime have been reported. It then tells you that our people, even themselves, are beginning to take care of themselves, are beginning to make sure that they eliminate the elements, the criminal elements outside, and then the police have a responsibility of dealing with such elements.
And then I know that it's always been an area of concern around people that sell around the venues to the festivals. How are you dealing with that? Because it's over the years, there's always been a process of application and people getting approval before they can go and trade outside. What are the arrangements this year?
Well, we have categorized people who will be working at the Macufe. There are those that will be very close to the precinct, that have been allocated permits by the city. They've gone through the training, they've gone through the health environmental processes, where we're making sure that the type of food that they are selling to the people is healthy and hygienic. You also have another level that is outside the precinct. We have allocated them space so that they don't just go around and selling. So we have made sure that as much as we are looking at the revelers coming in, we also want to seize the opportunity and leverage out of the people, number of people that are coming into the city from the local economic development point of view. Because this does not only mean to us people coming into the city. We also want to leverage from the economic and brand aspect. Because if you look at this brand, Macufe, it's a very, very big brand, and it's associated with Mangaung Metro. And we are not going to gamble with that. We're making sure that our brand as the Mangaung, beyond the event, is growing, because it means investment. It means we can go out and get other opportunities. So that is why we're having this pride with the Macufe event.
Dade Kedama, thank you very much. That is Kondile Kedama, the spokesperson for Mangaung Metro. This is the city that will be hosting the Mangaung African Cultural Festival, or rather that has already been hosting it, and going towards the big weekend where the most number of people is expected. The city believes that it's ready to welcome all the revelers and make sure that everybody is safe and there's enough water, and it's just comfortable for everybody. With that, it's back to you in studio.